In this lesson, you're going to learn about nonfiction text structures. There are 5 nonfiction text structures called listing or description, sequencing, compare and contrast, cause and effect. The first thing you're going to do in your notebook is turn it sideways and then glue your foldable in your book. You're going to write your answers on the foldable and underneath it. I'm going to show you an example in the next slide. So if you look here, I have turned my notebook sideways, I've written text structure at the top, which is my title, and I've glued my foldable down. You can see it says sequencing problem solution at the top. In the first one, this is listing, and I folded it up, and on the flap I wrote the sample text, and on the bottom I wrote down the description or definition of it. Where it says graphic organizer, you're going to draw a picture of the graphic organizer, and then the signal words, you're going to be writing down the signal words from the PowerPoint. In a previous lesson, we learned that there are 9 text features that help us navigate nonfiction text. These features are important to help us find information in the text. Structures are a little bit different. They organize the content. Trying to figure out the text structure of a text is important. 3 tips to help you. Number 1, what's the author's purpose? Are they trying to tell you how things are similar or different? Are they trying to tell you why an event happened and why that event caused something else to happen? Is it just trying to figure out main ideas? Second, what are your transitions or signal words? Are they showing you how one idea leads to the next? And if you were taking notes, what would the most important information be? These 3 tips will help you figure out the text structure. Listing is the first text structure, so you're going to write the definition on your flap. The definition is citing evidence about the main idea by describing the unique features of the topic. For example, what are 3 things a person must do to play the violin? What are the denotative features? Signal words and graphic organizer are tools that can help you when you're looking at listing. For example, you could use a sun wheel graphic organizer where you would list the main idea in the center and the details around the edge. Or you could use some type of web where you put the main idea or topic in the center and then you put your main ideas and your supporting details. These 8 signal words are transitions that help us understand what we're looking at listing. In the real world, the text that you would see listing would be grocery lists, rules, and even travel brochures. But last, ask yourself, is the purpose stating a main idea and supporting details? Is the purpose to describe the characteristics of a topic? And is the primary purpose to describe? If it is, it's probably listing. The second text structure is sequencing. Sequencing shows the steps needed to complete a process, and it is similar to chronological order. For example, if you were asked on a quiz, what is the last major event in the 100 Years' War? We would be looking at a timeline of events. If I asked you to explain how a mother should change a diaper, I'm looking at a process of how to complete a task. Sequencing uses different types of graphic organizers. For example, this timeline, a sequence map, or even a bulleted or numbered list. Your text signal words are over here on the left. So ask yourself, is the purpose of the text to show you a task like brushing your teeth and the steps that are needed to complete it? Is it referring to dates, numbers, and events? And is it showing you what happened at certain times? Does the order or time matter? Is it trying to organize ideas in a logical pattern? If it is, it's sequence. In the real world, you're going to see sequencing in recipes, directions, narratives, and instruction manuals. But with recipes, there are 2 types of text structures. You list the ingredients, but the most important text structure is sequence because the directions are most important. Compare and contrast is the third text structure. It points out likenesses and differences among facts, people, events, and ideas. For example, if I asked you, how's the PlayStation different from the Xbox? You would be comparing and contrasting. Or if I asked you to compare and contrast a restaurant buffet and a school cafeteria. The signal words that you could use are here on the left. Your graphic organizers could be a Venn diagram or a T-chart, for example, with the similarities on one side and the differences on the other side. You'll often see compare and contrast in product reviews, magazines, or news articles that are comparing products and giving you advice on buying them. So if you're reading something that's comparing and contrasting two topics, or it's helping you make a decision, it's probably compare and contrast. One of the most difficult ones is cause and effect. It explains the reason an event happens, which is the cause, or the why, and its result, which is the effect, or the how. For example, what happens when someone steals? Or, if Jason saves 10% of his paycheck, how will this benefit him? Cause and effect has several different signal words that can help you. Some of these signal words are going to be very similar to problem solution, which is why cause and effect is more difficult to figure out. You could use things like a T-chart where you're putting the causes on one side and the effects on the other, or you could do some type of web where you're branching off, maybe listing the causes and how it leads to the effect, or how a cause has many effects. In the real world, you're going to see cause and effect in troubleshooting guides, persuasive arguments, informational research papers, public service announcements. To figure out if it's cause and effect, ask yourself, is the reason something happened important? Is the effect that something happened important? If it is, it's probably cause and effect. Is it telling you a solution to a problem? If it is, it's not cause and effect. And is the purpose of the text so that you as the reader can be aware of reasons something happened and the consequences of that event? Finally, problem solution. This is where you develop a dilemma or dilemmas and offer ways to resolve it. For example, every time I play my Singing Monsters, my phone shuts off. What should I do? Or, global warming is destroying animal habitats. Discuss how scientists can help. You could use a T-chart where you're listing your problems on one side and your solutions on the other. Or you could do some type of webbing where you're listing your problems and you're posting the solutions around it. Notice that there are several different ways that you can look at signal words. Number 6, as a result, is starred because as a result can also be a cause and effect, which is why it's important to know that signal words are not the only clue in helping figure out the text structure. You'll see this text structure used in troubleshooting guides, advertisements, infomercials, speeches, and even campaigns. So ask yourself, what's the issue at hand? Is it suggesting ways to get involved in finding a solution? Is it brainstorming and evaluating the ideas presented? If it is, it's probably problem solution. Great, you finished step 1 of your homework assignment. Now move on to step 2. You're going to take 2 quizzes about golden eagles and you're going to read some Study Island passages. When you're done, you need to explain the difference between text features and text structures. Good luck!